Hello. In today's video, we'll be taking a brief look at Japanese work culture as well as social expectations in a variety of situations. If you're new to Japan and having a hard time fitting in with various social groups, or if you're just simply interested in Japan, I hope the information in this video will be useful for you. So let's get into it. For the first half of this video, we'll take a look at general social expectations. To start off, we'll look at gifts. In the giving and receiving of gifts in Japan, both the gift itself and the response to the gift are important. It is important to be thoughtful in what you give, as well as in the wrapping and the presentation of the gift. And in return, there is often an unspoken expectation that sometime in the future that an equivalent gift will be reciprocated. This sort of formality in the giving and receiving of gifts is in service of maintaining a social harmony and respect between groups and individuals, which is a concept that will be repeated in other areas throughout the video. The second point is the social expectation that when someone agrees to meet, people will be punctual. The idea that if you're not 10 minutes early, you're late is one that a lot of people here follow. The reason that it's so important is because it shows that you respect the other person and their time, and that inconveniencing others is something to be avoided. Being humble also ties into this concept as well. In the case where one person arrives early and another ends up being late for some reason, the person who waited will usually say they arrived just before the other person to avoid making the late person feel bad in an effort to preserve the peace. Another important point is the expectation that members of a social group show consideration for the group as a whole. And this applies for any type of social group: friends, classmates, co-workers, sports teams, hobby groups, or anything else. This group consideration is usually shown in the form of making an effort to maintain harmony and avoiding actions that inconvenience others, such as suggesting activities or compromising so that all members can take part in something, or making an effort to get a group consensus. If you find yourself having a hard time in a group, make sure you're taking the group into consideration in your choices. As a foreigner in Japan, if you're making friends with locals and are cultivating good relationships at work, then it's likely you'll be invited to attend someone's wedding at some point. Japanese weddings can be a lot of fun, but there are also some expectations that come with attending a wedding that may be different from your home country. For me, as an American, it is tradition to buy a wedding gift that is something you think the couple will use in their new life together, like a nice set of dishes or good quality towels, something practical like that. In Japan, though, the tradition is to give cash. Japanese apartments and homes are smaller than a lot of other countries, so it's best to give cash so the couple can just buy exactly what they need to avoid having to store excess items. Another difference is that wedding guests also receive a gift from the married couple for attending the wedding as a way of showing appreciation for your support of their marriage. The last point before moving on to Japanese work culture is masking. Many places around the world were introduced to the idea of masking when sick due to the COVID-19 pandemic, but Japan has been wearing masks during widespread illnesses since the Spanish flu epidemic 100 years ago. That habit has since spread to the egalitarian approach of individually masking up any time you feel sick to avoid spreading it to those around you, regardless of the type of illness. Nowadays, masks are so common that many people just wear them in public at all times for privacy reasons or to reduce their chances of catching something in general. Due to this approach, it's become a bit of an unspoken rule that you need to mask up in public if you're sick. Now let's take a look at some aspects of Japan's work culture that are important for a foreigner to know if they accept a job at a Japanese company. While it has been slowly changing, a lot of Japanese companies still cling to the notion that workers should give their all for their company, foregoing work-life balance resulting in sometimes excessive overtime work. The younger generation is pushing back against this style of workplace, but it does still exist. Together with the excessive overtime, employees receive vacation days, but often can't use them due to social pressure. Expanding on the point about vacation, cultural norms heavily influence how employees approach vacation. Because workplaces value teamwork and harmony, many workers feel guilty about taking time off since it might burden their colleagues. This group-oriented mindset, along with a strong emphasis on loyalty and visible dedication, leads to a FaceTime culture where being present in the office is seen as proof of commitment. As a result, taking long or frequent vacations can be viewed negatively, even if employees are legally entitled to the time. However, attitudes are slowly changing. Younger generations and international companies in Japan are beginning to challenge these traditions by promoting more flexible work styles and encouraging employees to actually use their leave. Still, in more traditional sectors such as manufacturing, finance, and government, the conservative approach to vacation remains firmly entrenched. Punctuality was mentioned earlier in the first half of the video for social situations, but it's equally important at the office. Naturally, it is important to arrive at work on time every day, like it is in most cultures. Punctuality, however, also expands to things like meetings, inter-office communication, and project deadlines. Depending on the office, a lot of work will be managed on a fairly strict timeline, and delays might mean a client not getting what they ordered on time. That said, rushing a project and turning it in a week early is also not a great look. If there are any mistakes that need to be corrected after the fact, it will make you look like someone who takes shortcuts. Best practice is to aim to finish on time, or maybe very slightly early. Japanese social groups have a hierarchy built into them. This is often based on age or seniority within the group or company, or both. If you aren't sure what to do, pay attention to what others from similar standing as you behaves and speaks to others. Watch to see if they're using formal or casual language, and who they are using it with. Also, keep an eye on body language. Do they look relaxed or somewhat serious? After work socializing, often referred to as nomikai, is an important part of Japanese work culture. These gatherings usually take place at izakaya and serve as informal spaces where colleagues and managers can relax, bond, and communicate more openly than in the office. Participation is not always officially mandatory, but there is strong social pressure to attend, especially for newer or younger employees who are expected to show loyalty and team spirit. These events often involve multiple rounds of drinks and sometimes second parties, which can run late into the night. While many workers value the chance to strengthen relationships and network, others see it as an extension of work that cuts into personal time. In recent years, attitudes have shifted somewhat, with younger employees in some companies moving away from obligatory attendance, reflecting a gradual change toward greater work-life balance. In conclusion, Japanese work culture reflects a balance between deep-rooted traditions of loyalty, harmony, and collective responsibility, and the gradual influence of modernization and shifting attitudes. Practices such as limited vacation use and after-work socializing highlight the strong emphasis on group cohesion and visible dedication to the company. Yet, as younger generations and global influences shape workplace expectations, change is emerging in the form of greater flexibility and attention to work-life balance. Understanding these cultural dynamics not only provides insight into Japanese society, but also helps explain the challenges and opportunities faced by its evolving workforce.